Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got over 180,000 titles for you to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Everybody, welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
And I'm Johnny.
Johnny, how's it going, man?
I don't
You look like you're in great spirits, dude.
Yeah. Before we get any further, I would just like to say that right now it looks like you have a ponytail.
Yeah, it's gelled. Yeah, the hair's gelled.
I'm not mad about it.
No?
I think you could be one of those dudes that can pull off a ponytail and not look creepy.
Dude, how nice, man. How nice. You know what's weird? I was just envisioning myself with an Eric Matthews haircut, like I always say Joe has. Just like straight slicked back, long in the back, you know? But like over the ears, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
Classic haircut.
Oh yeah, the 90s.
Joe has had a few interesting haircut choices. I think he's on a better track now.
Yeah, he's on a better track. He's keeping it clean now, but he had a period of time, I think it was like his senior year of high school. He going into freshman year, and I think maybe pushing a little bit into sophomore as well. He had like this weird hippie long, looked like he should have been born in California, but he was born in Indiana. He had that haircut. Looked like he should have been spending most of his time on a surfboard, waxing a surfboard on a beach somewhere or on a pier, you know.
Oh, that poor guy.
I mean, he's got great hair. I'm not gonna lie.
Did I ever tell you that I am 100% committed to the idea that Joe is John Krasinski's twin?
You've never told me this. Why do you
They just, like, my first year at Graceland, Joe had the exact same hair as Jim from The Office.
Yeah, that like just over the ears.
And they're tall and like goofy and they have the same face.
Yeah, and they're always breaking the fourth wall. No, I mean, I can see it.
I'm like committed to it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I think the first time I watched The Office, it was with Joe.
Yeah, so it holds a little bit of a nostalgia.
Maybe, but I
spot.
think he could be Jim in The Office, no problem.
Yeah. How lucky is John Krasinski, by the way? He, I think, just on a whim, went out for the role of Jim in The Office, and he was given the role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just on a whim. Like, he wasn't a working actor or anything.
No, shit. He just was... That wasn't his first gig.
I think it might have been his first gig.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, he the first thing he
God.
tries out for is the immensely popular show The Office. And then he goes on to do films and what was it called? Silent or Quiet Place, which was actually interesting. You know,
I love that movie, and I'm excited for
bad.
this. I'm excited for the second one. He just
he just
finished filming, I think.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I always love John Krasinski. I do get a little sad when I think that he and I can't remember her name, Pam. That they're
Jennifer
not
Fawcett.
Is that her name?
Yeah, I think.
The fact that they're not a thing in real life sort of always.
Yeah, that does. They are like the celebrity couple that you think would have to be because of that show. Yeah. That and sticking with that TV show, Eric Matthews. Fuck.
Oh yeah,
Topanga and Corey.
Ben Savage and Daniel Fishel.
Yeah, I'm talking about Topanga and Corey. Like those two, you feel like from that show
Yeah.
would be together in real life, and I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, that's their names, by the way. Ben
What?
Savage and Ben
Oh.
Savage
Oh.
and Danielle Fishel.
I
That's,
heard Daniel, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, Ben Savage and Daniel
I was like,
Daniel
"What?
Fishel.
Who? What?"
Yeah. No, you definitely anytime I see like an Instagram photo or something with like the two of them like just somewhere, you know, like just out like being friends, meeting up or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is like the time that they like fucking start going out or whatever." And it's like going to be the end of but yeah, no, that's probably not how that is going to end up.
Oh.
That's a lot of pressure. That'd be a lot of pressure. I wonder if they ever tried.
Oh, I'm sure they've diddled. I don't know. I shouldn't say I'm sure.
Wait, you sure they diddled? Hey, man. At what point of Boy Meets World are we talking about here? Because I think towards the end it was legal to say things like that. Otherwise, you can't talk about Boy Meets World cast diddling, all right? That's not cool, man. You're going to get us shut down.
For acknowledging that teenagers have sex?
Hey, man. You can't talk about it, though. Because then it's weird.
You just made it weird.
That's not true.
Anyways.
So, Johnny, what's going on over there, man? Because I see, like, there's a little bit of fire behind your eyes. There's something else. It's not just images of Ben Savage and Daniel Fishel having
that
teenage
is
sex.
not what's happening.
Okay.
What's happening is it's our federal election,
Okay.
and it's looking like Justin Trudeau is going to win.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I mean, that actually is surprising, though. I don't know how somebody makes a comeback from being caught doing blackface and then ends up winning an election. That's
And for firing two strong women for standing up to him violating ethics, and also being called out for groping women.
Yeah. Well,
and still wins.
sorry, man. Look at it positively, John. Okay?
I'm gonna have to move to America because Alberta's gonna die. I just like to point out that it's not that I'm against liberal social policies. I'm extremely against our current liberals' economy policies.
Gotcha. So it's hurting your community.
Yeah.
And that's why you're, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because I live in the Texas of Canada.
The oil sands, right?
Yep. And we're more happy importing oil from Saudi Arabia than we are with our own oil for some reason. Figure that one out.
I don't know tell you, man. I'm sorry, dude.
Our government, led by a feminist, likes getting his oil from Saudi.
Yeah. What are the term limits for?
It's 4 years.
Well, yeah, it's 4 years per term, but how many terms?
Unlimited.
Really?
Yeah, you can.
So he can just keep going
as long as he wins. So you have to win the vote to lead the party.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're once you're leader of the party, like that stays until someone challenges. I can't remember what the timeline is before someone could challenge, but it typically happens. Well, no. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, like, here's the thing. Even if you're liberal, which I tend to fall on that side, how do you get past the blatant racism and disrespect that he showed? Like, how is that even something that a person can do? You know? Like, if when Obama was in the office, and I voted for Obama twice, if like before his second election win, if it would have come out that back in his days when at Harvard he fucking threw on the white face like fucking Dave Chappelle did for the Chappelle show, you know, for his white characters, I'd probably have a bit of a problem. And not because it's not comedy, right? There's no comedic aspect to it. It's just racism.
Yeah, well, what they're saying is that it was a different time and he didn't do it. He was doing it from like a costume perspective because he was like a drama teacher and not like in a satire way or anything. I don't know. He wasn't meaning to be offensive, and it was a different time.
Well, it was always a different time, right? But you can't.
Yeah, it was a different time for Kevin Hart, and he got fucking lit up.
Well, and it was a different time for everybody, right? I mean, there's been. You can't just the same way we can't erase our past. Like for America, we can't pretend we never had slaves in the country because we did. You know, it's not like you can just wake up tomorrow and be like, "Oh, well, it was a different time." Bullshit, dude. It's always a different time. You either have morals, you don't have morals. You know right from wrong. Like you can, you know it. Like, and from somebody who. I suppress this memory, and I've told it on the podcast before, and I know you remember hearing it, and it's really fucked up. I'm pretty sure I was in a parade when I was younger, and I had blackface on, and I was dressed up like Michael Jackson, and my brother was dressed up like Stevie Wonder, and I think my sister was dressed up like fucking whatever. It was fucking wrong. And I forgot all about it until I remembered. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Because obviously I was a child.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. But I know that was wrong. Right? And so I can't come out and say, I did this when I was younger, but it was an earlier time.
Because it was wrong when you had like an understanding of it.
Sure. But he was a fully grown adult when he did it.
At his time, he should have known it was wrong, yes. But there has been a time where blackface was not seen to be wrong.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying, is that you can't say, like, it's always a different time, you should know the difference. Because I think right and wrong is really societal pushed. And, like, there are some general, I think, baseline things that we think of as right or wrong, like, don't kill.
Yeah.
But in general, some like stuff like that, I mean, we're fucking stupid creatures.
I mean, that's true. But I don't know. Part of me is still can't think that there isn't some part of him when he was slathering his face in black.
Yeah, he should have thought about that. Especially considering who his dad was.
I don't even know who his dad is.
His dad was a former Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, so he's a second generation prime minister.
Yes, who also completely fucked over Alberta. And now his son is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Johnny. I imagine this is how you feel. I imagine you feel the same way I felt when I saw fucking Donald Trump just taking state after state and state after state on election night.
That's gonna happen again next year for you too.
You know what? You're probably not wrong. But it will not be because of me. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna try to get political. I
like that you're chill to dive into Canada politics, but U.S. ones you're like, no.
Well, I mean, we can go down that road if you want to. I'm just saying, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump. Feel like he gives America a bad.
He's a buffoon, and I think it's okay to say that.
He makes us look like dummies. You know, the leader of our country spends more time on Twitter than he does on actually doing policy, and I don't know. It's just too much. It's just too much. He's turned it into a circus, and politics is always stupid. right? It's always been overblown. And
do you read policy?
I mean, honestly, I don't read a lot of it, but I don't know. I think it's just more of a gut feeling, and it's probably not the best. Like, I'm sure he's done good things for certain segments of the population, but overall, in general, I just don't like how he presents America.
So do you vote based on the leader of each party, or do you vote based on like your community's needs or your needs or like the policies?
I mean, when it comes time for elections and whatnot, I definitely pay more attention to.
Would you ever vote Republican?
I'm not opposed to voting Republican if it makes sense. In
what way though?
I like to think that I'm fiscally conservative, so I can definitely get along with the Republicans as far as finance and budgeting and stuff like that. But and it's sort of a quandary because I also like supporting social programs which go contrary to that. So I don't know.
No, you can be fiscally conservative and socially liberal and get people the support they need by doing things effectively, but also protecting your economy. I mean, the issue we have in Canada right now is the economy versus the environment, and you can protect both in moderation, but the stance of either side of the political party is like one side completely denies climate change and is like super pro oil and gas, and the other side is completely against energy, which is a significant part of our economy, and super pro environment, but not understanding and not understanding the implications of that. Of if we don't have oil and gas, one, everyone's gonna fucking freeze to death in this country.
Sure.
No, that's like a legit thing. There's that's how we keep our houses warm, and we live in a country that is winter 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Two, it's our financially sustains this country, which pays for all of those things, like our healthcare that we love so much.
Right. Yeah, you might end up going the same way as the States here before too long, Johnny, with your healthcare.
It's legitimately a possibility if we were to ever actually balance our budget. That would be first places people cut, right? Healthcare and education is the two biggest pieces of the pie.
Yeah, but
they're not staying that way.
Yeah, I do feel bad for you, bud, because I don't know. It's a very, politics in and of themselves are divisive because everybody's got their own reasons for voting, and now everybody's got a bigger platform to stand on top of and try to shout their viewpoints from that mountaintop. Whereas 20 years ago, that wasn't something people could easily do.
Yeah. I am glad that you said that you would consider voting Republican for the right reasons. I think that's the biggest issue, at least in my experience in the States. And I'm starting to see it in Canada. But I remember when I first moved to the States and doing freshman orientation. Right. And so many people asked me straight out, are you Democrat or Republican?
Yeah.
I'm Canadian.
It's black or white, yeah.
And it was my follow-up questions were always tell me why you're Republican. Oh, my dad's Republican. My dad's a Republican. We're a Republican family. And I was like, okay, that's great, but tell me why you are a Republican.
Right.
Speak to the actual policies that you think are important and support what you think is best for your community or the country. No one could speak to that. Right. And I had the same conversation on both sides.
Yeah.
So
I don't
it's
know.
not it's like voting for a team, and you like the color red or you like the color blue better,
Right.
and you're not thinking about what actually impacts your life or your family's lives.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what changed. I know that when I was younger, it was when Clinton was running for office, which would have been 92. I think it was 92.
Mm-hmm.
And then again in 96, right? Yeah. Yep. Because we've had, yeah. Anyway, my dad voted for Clinton, and I always just grew up thinking, oh, my dad must be a Democrat. Well, no, it just made sense for my dad to vote Democrat at that point.
Yeah.
And my dad's sort of the same way, where he's big into policy and what works for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but even my dad has sort of more outwardly become Republican as he's grown. It wasn't something that it wasn't something that he made anybody really aware of.
Yeah.
His politics, and I also think that's a big change too. Is there used to be a time where nobody talked who they vote for. No, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a thing in Canada. Like if you guys had the same sort of stance, but like there was a time 20 years ago where if you asked somebody who they voted for, they'd say, it's really none of your business who I voted for. That's not. You don't judge me based on who I vote for. And I think that we sort of need a little bit of that to come back,
Mm-hmm.
But we're almost at a tilting point where it feels like it's too far gone. Like that's not something that's attainable anymore.
Well, I don't know how you recover. Like, how do you deprogram that allegiance to a party above policy?
I'll tell you how you start. You start by getting rid of the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. But I literally was sitting, Allie and I were watching CBC, and it was doing the live updates. And we have like a first past the post system. So they're doing live updates as they're counting ballot boxes. So it's showing the ones that are live, and it's like how many seats each of the parties have. And they're constantly going up and down.
Yeah.
And I was like, one, they shouldn't be showing this until all of the votes are, like, all the polls should be closed.
Sure.
Because that media presence can impact your vote. If at that point, you don't know that they've only counted 20% of the votes.
Right.
And if 60% of that 20% is the other party, you're going to say, oh, it's too late. It's not going to make a difference.
Right.
But then two, they're reporting like how many seats each government has, but they're not final counted areas, like polls. So it just doesn't make sense. So the numbers are constantly going up and down, and they're just talking about that like small percentage. Like at one point they were debating, but like there was four candidates, and they all had under 100 votes, and that's what they were talking about. And I was like, why is this on the news? And it's because of the 24-hour news.
Yeah.
Right.
They're trying to generate content when the content's not there at all.
Exactly. But I agree. Yeah. They need to get rid of the 24-hour news network, and like
I mean that's the way to start.
Mm-hmm. What would be your next step?
I feel like campaign finance is a pretty big issue. And these super PACs and these mega corporations that come in and influence elections by throwing money at it. That shouldn't be what drives a campaign. It should be, the message you're speaking, the policy that you're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the things that stand out, not, hey, this is how flashy my campaign is. This is how many people I was able to reach with my advertising. I understand it's a different world now, and we have to leverage things like social media, but I just feel like there's too many there are too many hands in the pockets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like campaign finance is a big one. And then I feel like, what's it called? I just lost it. The way that they draw the voting lines. What's that called? There's a term for it. I can't think of it right now. But basically, like in a state, they'll have all these different areas.
But they're not squares, right?
They're not squares. They're like squiggles, and they might be like super fucking long, but really skinny. And it's because they're going along voting lines for people in that area.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to win these districts instead of just evenly dividing the state up, and saying, this place took that one, this place took that one. They're just trying to group everybody together instead of I don't know. It's just
because it's politics to stay in power, right? Not to make a difference or make things better.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, those are 3 ways to start the ball rolling. I think the most realistic one to tackle first would be I wish I could remember the term for it, but the last thing I brought up. That's probably the first place to go is redrawing those district boundaries, and so it makes sense and it's fair. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's campaign finance, and then probably 24-hour news cycle will be the last thing to go because the media is fucking crazy.
Yeah, we can only hope.
I would really like to see
a meteor come and just reset.
Yeah, just wipe out a large majority of the human population.
Just all of us.
I'd like to see, honestly, more reporting like NPR. It's like where it's just like, this is the news, this is what happened. That's why it's called news, because it's just supposed to be
we're
straight
reporting
facts,
not like perspective.
I can make up my own mind, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you how I feel about a certain situation. I don't need to be told how to feel about it. So just tell me the news, tell me what happened, and then go to fucking, Everybody Loves Raymond, right? just move along.
Great show, though. That was a good show.
It is a great show. Hey guys, let's stop to take a second to talk about the sponsor for today's podcast. That would be Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your ears on a fresh new audiobook. They've got over 180,000 different ones that you can pick from. So you're gonna find something that works for you. The one we're going to talk about this month is The Way I Heard It by Mike Rowe. The length of this audiobook is 7 hours and 55 minutes. You guys might know Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, the TV show that was on Discovery a while back. Super popular. The summary of the book states, Emmy Award-winning gadfly Mike Rowe presents a ridiculously entertaining, seriously fascinating collection of his favorite episodes from America's #1 short-form podcast, The Way I Heard It, along with a host of memories, ruminations, and insights. It's a delightful collection of mysteries, a mosaic, a memoir, a charming, surprising must-have. Mike Rowe's The Way I Heard It collects 35 fascinating stories for the curious mind with a short attention span. 5-minute mysteries about people you know, filled with facts that you didn't. Movie stars, presidents, Nazis, rank traders, and bloody do-gooders. They're all here, waiting to shake your hand, hoping you'll remember them. Delivered with Mike's signature blend of charm, wit, and ingenuity, their stories are part of a larger mosaic, a memoir crammed with recollections, insights, and intimate behind-the-scenes moments drawn from Mike's remarkable life and career. That's going to do it, guys. If you guys want to check that one out, I've already used my credit this month on it, and I'm going to be giving it a listen for sure. But if that isn't something that you guys want to listen to, cool. They have all kinds of different categories, such as mysteries and thrillers, kids, nonfiction, new releases, meditation and fitness, self-development. The list goes on, guys. Check it out. Just head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled, and hey, you guys have a great day. It's just all fucked, man. It's just all fucked. And the thing is, I feel like America, just the ridiculousness of our political system is just pervasive into other countries now. So, like, unfortunately, with your proximity to
we're becoming
the
mini
States,
America 100%.
yeah, it's a disease. It's like a really awful disease.
Yeah, your stupidity is infecting everywhere.
It's gonna be idiocracy before too long, dude.
If stupidity was an STD, y'all were fucking us without a condom. A lot of countries.
You're getting raw dog. Everybody's
raw
getting
dog in the world right now.
Yeah. Dirty. We got dirty weens, dude, and we're just spreading our. Yeah, we're spreading our idiocracy infection globally. You know, maybe North Korea has it right. They section themselves off from the rest of the world, right? They just shut everything down. There's no traffic coming in. There's nothing going out. You know, they're going to be the last ones to survive, dude.
That's completely likely.
If they just calm down and don't threaten everybody with nukes.
They don't have anything. They're not a threat.
I'm just saying, if they, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they could just calm down and just sort of do their own thing and just, you know, stay in North Korea, whatever. Everybody else is going to fuck themselves over, and North Korea is going to be the last thing standing.
And I could be wrong on this one. So, future fact checker, you can kick my ass. Even though I've read this book a few times, World War Z.
I've read part of that book.
If I recall correctly, I think it was North Korea. Like when the zombie outbreak happened, they forced all of their citizens to remove all their teeth so they couldn't bite to spread the zombie infection, and that was like how they were able to stay somewhat thriving for so long.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
It's not like they needed the teeth anyway. They don't have food.
Yeah. They're eating dirt stew, so.
Yeah, they don't have food. They can't take pictures, right?
Oh, those poor people.
Oh my god, dude. That's one place, like, I want to see the world, right? Eventually, whenever I get my shit together and pay my debts off. I do want to see the world, but I guarantee you one thing. In my days on this planet, I will never step foot on North Korean soil, so, as long as they are locking people up for taking pictures off walls.
Yeah, there's no desire. Unless you're like Dennis Rodman.
Because then you're like, what? If I use a fucking toothpick or something in North Korea, are they going to fucking gel me up and make me do hard labor for 20 years? And then return me like catatonic? Nah, who wants that, dude? Who wants that?
I don't know, man. If KJ called me up and was like, yo, I saw your Instagram. You look like a fun dude. Come down. Let's party for a week. Let me show you what life is like. I would seriously consider it.
Dennis Rodman will be there. The worm.
Exactly.
You and the worm. Come on down. What would your name be? Like, if you were going to... Like, Dennis Rodman's the worm. If you had to make up a nickname for yourself. I don't know why he was the worm. I'm going to have to think on that one, too. I wish I had something.
Like, what would be my, like, fighter name?
Your fighter name? Ooh, Jonny Crazy Legs Shrail.
Crazy Legs.
I'm going Crazy Legs, dude. You got a lot going on down there. And you got a third leg.
Third leg.
You're third legging it, bro. Mm-hmm. That's why they call you Crazy Legs, because it's crazy.
Two are just a little bit shorter than the other one, but it's all right.
Yeah, talk about that dick infection your corgi had, man. You got to be working with some major infection down there, dude. You're dragging that thing about 10 feet behind you.
Oh, poor Gus.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing good. He's on a diet. He's looking good.
Yeah, he's svelte.
Yep, he's lean and mean right now. I'm pretty happy.
There you go.
That's because all the apples are gone. either by him eating them or me picking them up. He's not getting 8 meals a day right now, so
that's good. We dog sat this weekend, and it was about 48 hours of like
nonstop
awful
wrestling.
No, it was like 48 hours of just awful. Because my puppy is just he's still so puppyish, and he's an Australian Shepherd, so he's got tons of energy. And this little dog is just like a little Scottish Terrier. Mm-hmm. Tons of energy, but not willing to meet Brizzy's energy. Mm-hmm. And so there were a lot of like barking fights, and a lot of times I just have to be like, get outside, or like fucking separate them or whatever. And it was just like the whole weekend I was just waiting on the next little dog fight to break out.
Oh, that's really, really stressful. I don't like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I like to say that I like to walk a mile in everybody's shoes. Mm-hmm. So I got to feel like what it was like for Mike Vick for 2 days,
I think it was the other, though. You were trying to break up the fights, and he was like trying to entice the fights.
Oh, that's true. It was like anti.
Yeah, he wasn't the hero of that story.
It was like if Mike Vick did the right thing, right? He stumbled across a dog fight and he tried to break it up. Talk about wasted talent, dude. Mm-hmm. That dude was super talented. Think about how successful his career could have been if he didn't fuck it all up.
What is he doing these days?
He's retired. I don't know. He's probably doing mall tours or something, and he's probably working with the ASPCA to try to clean his name up. Mm. That's my bet.
Just threw it all away for what, $1,000 bets on dogs? Like, so
yeah,
dumb.
like what do you get out of that?
You're not. Yeah, if he was pulling millions running this thing,
sure,
great. Risk your NFL millions for this stupid millions here.
Yeah,
but he like maybe $100,000 in a weekend.
Maybe.
Which
I think it was mostly
would be a lot of money for doing it every weekend, but he obviously wasn't.
Sure.
So
it's like what a kleptomaniac does, like they're just fucking doing it for the rush,
Mm-hmm. No, that's probably what it is.
He's just doing it for the rush. He's not getting his rush from football anymore, so he's got to fucking run an underground dog ring.
Was a really big thing back in his day.
Dude, how happy are you? I'm sorry to cut you off. You had Aaron Rodgers this week. 5 touchdowns.
I don't want to talk about it.
You didn't play him?
I didn't play him.
Oh, you fucked up, dude.
And I lost for that very reason. And here's why.
You watched it. You just watched it unfold, and you fucking...
No. It's not even that. It's worse than that. It's a worse story than that.
You fucked up, bro.
I've been talking to, friends and doing a bunch of research of Goff, Rodgers. Like, Rodgers did fuck all last week.
Goff was going up against the Saints?
Goff was...
No, that was last week. Who were they playing?
I'll pull it up. Oh,
Rams.
I'm going to have to look
Seahawks.
At this.
They were playing Russell Wilson and the Seahawks this week.
No, Atlanta. They were playing Atlanta.
Ah, that's right.
Anyways,
Matt Ryan, dude. Yeah.
So, here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers put up shit numbers last week.
It's true.
He's missing his number 1 wide receiver.
It's true.
His running back is smoking fucking hot.
Which one?
Jones.
Okay.
And this week, I read 2 reports that said that he wasn't practicing or practicing light because of a potential knee injury.
Okay.
So I took all of those factors, plus the fact that they were going against Oakland, who gives up the 17th most points to the quarterback position. So midpoint, whereas Atlanta gives up the 3rd most points to the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. And then reading about where the Rams are and how, the bounce back game. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go against what people are saying because Goff only put up 2 points last week. Right. But I think he's going to put up 20. and he's not going to be great, but he's going to be solid, and everything is pointing against Rodgers either playing or not throwing the ball and just handing it off to their red hot running back.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, you had last week Geronimo Allison went out with a concussion. Wasn't sure if he was going to pass concussion protocol to play in the game. So there's another receiver down. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had a knee injury or like a hamstring or something like that he was nursing all week. He was a game time decision. They weren't sure if he was going to play or not. So there's two more receivers on top of Devontae Adams, who was out again this week. Mm-hmm. But other receivers stepped up. Jimmy Graham had a solid game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great quarterback, and it's a great team. They obviously have a winning. I didn't think it was going to be that. So the real kicker to this is I'm going to the gym and I'm getting first quarter, first 4 minutes touchdown by Goff.
Right.
I get a text and I was like, fuck yes. This is the game. It's going to happen. And right. I go to the gym, I do my rolls, come back out, and I look, and Goff is at 25 points, and I'm like, okay, great. And then so he makes 31 points.
Yeah,
and
that's not a bad day.
Pretty fucking good, decent. A good quarterback is averaging 25, 30 points a week.
Right.
If you get low 20s, it's not great, but it's acceptable.
Yeah.
And then I was fucking thrilled and was gonna text people I fucking called it. And I'm like, oh, I should check the Packers game to be look how shit Rodgers did. And then I scroll down and Rodgers has 60 points, and I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, he scored all of the points. He threw 5 touchdowns, then he ran one in, and he threw for 450 yards. So mm-hmm. that was his best game that he's ever played. So I'm sorry you picked that one. I will say I don't know how he's going to look this coming week versus Kansas City. I admittedly don't know what Kansas City's defense looks like. Their offense is sort of struggling right now, so mm-hmm. I would still probably pick Green Bay to take it this weekend. I think
they'll win, but
non-biased.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know how. And it's they're here in Kansas City at Arrowhead too, which is one of the loudest stadiums in the league, so that might play into it. But I don't know. I don't know how they'll end up doing. So I don't know who Goff and the Rams play this coming week.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, Rodgers has been more consistent, and mm-hmm. I just need to ride him out and not play the flippy flop game.
Sure.
Although this has been I think I've only fucked up twice in the flippy floppy game.
Yeah.
And I was only half wrong on this one.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you didn't pick a quarterback that had a bad performance. You just picked the one that had
the less good.
Yeah, the less good performance. Yeah.
So I don't know. I might just have to.
I say you ride the hot hand, man. I don't see as long as everybody else and everybody seemed to make it out okay from that game. There weren't any big injuries or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful that Devontae is going to be back this coming week. They've been nursing him for the past. He's been out for 3 straight weeks. Mm-hmm. So this would be, a month removed from whatever injury he sustained, that turf toe. So I think,
toe.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I sort of feel like it's going to be a good day, but I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself because the last time the Packers were in town for a regular season game, I went to it, and it's been how long ago? 5 years ago, something like that.
Damn.
They've been out here for preseason games, but they got beat last time they were here. So I don't know if that feeds into it at all, but But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't pick Aaron, dude. That really sucked.
It's been a rough Monday.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. I feel like they figured it out though. So I say you ride with Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm pretty much fucked for the season, so I'm just gonna throw him in. I don't think I can mathematically make playoffs. It's really just about not finishing last at this point.
Yeah. You always have a chance with Rodgers, so
Antonio Brown fucked me.
Oh yeah, you got him when he was with your Pats.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
well, I got him before the season, right? And then he got signed to the Pats, and it was super gonna be like that was my moment.
He would have put up big numbers.
Oh my God, him and Tom Brady. Oh.
Yeah, it would have been a Patriots wet dream out there, man.
I heard a rumor that Tom Brady was really pissed that they cut him.
I'm sure that's like a fucking massive target. Tom Brady is a very competitive dude. What?
So the conservative government won the popular vote. But
yeah?
Because of the way the divisions are, we lost.
Shit, man.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's brutal. Sorry, bud. Well,
that makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that Trudeau campaigned on changing. That he was going to fix that and make them more balanced, and then was like, "Nah, never mind. I'm not going to do that."
Yeah, it worked for him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Shit, man. Yeah, I just don't see how systems like that in place are fair. You know, it's not indicative. Like, it's not fair for the liberal, even for the liberal areas in California. You know, it's not fair for the size of Los Angeles to be so big that it wins your state if you win Los Angeles, right? Like it should be more balanced than that. So I'm sorry that happened to you, bud. That makes it worse for sure.
Goodbye economy.
Oh,
no, the rumors are no, like I literally oil and gas is critical to both Ali and I's careers.
Sure.
And that's not going to look good. But there are some actual talks. There's been a few really good articles and conversations around Alberta separating. And then there was an article today that talked about because typically, like right now, what the country is like completely divided down the center line of like Alberta and Saskatchewan are 100% conservative.
Right.
BC is all conservative except for Vancouver, which is that same California issue.
Right.
And Manitoba is like 80% or maybe 100% blue right now. Sorry, I haven't looked at the map at this point. I'm just trying to get from text from Ali. But and then like the rest, like the east side is all liberal. But the east side has more population. Yeah. So they always win, and it ignores half of the country, right?
Yeah.
And I read a cool article about what that economy would look like for Alberta, and it was basically it would suck for the first 10 years, but then after we would be like self-sufficient, and we send out a lot of money to other provinces in transfer payments, like equalization payments.
Right.
We wouldn't have to do that, so we would be spending all of that money and more in like infrastructure and like just creating our country in air quotes.
Right.
But then once that was done, we would have all of that revenue, and it would just be internal, right? So instead of giving it out to other people, we'd just be investing it in ourselves.
Yeah. It's sort of funny. There was a similar feeling around Obama's second term where Texans were like, we're gonna secede, we're making our own shit, and Texas would actually probably do okay.
I think Texas could do it, and
because they've got crops, they've got they
have oil, and they've
got oil,
port, right?
Yeah,
that's Alberta's issue, is we're landlocked,
right?
So we would have to, the other provinces, like the neighboring provinces, if say it was Alberta, Saskatchewan,
right.
So say Manitoba and BC don't come with, they could make it really, like Canada could make it really difficult, but we have great relationships and pipelines running down south,
right?
So we would just send it to America and get it out that way, right? So like,
yeah,
there are ways around it, and all of the like industry of BC, so like wood, a lot of wood, coal mining, would have to travel through Alberta, so we could tax the shit out of it that way, because we're right in the middle of the country, so they wouldn't be able to share resources efficiently without going through us.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Canadian provinces. They're really fucking tall, like pretty much pretty much stretch from the top to the bottom, like
yep, just pretty much. The territories are, that's a whole another area, but
sure,
and a whole different set of challenges and frustrations that don't really get addressed either.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool article that talked about, what it could look like, and that it wouldn't be super easy and fun at first. Like everyone thinks, we'll just separate and everything will be great. It'd be like, no, it's gonna really suck.
Yeah.
But if we make the investment and we do it smartly, we'd be pretty fucking wealthy.
Yeah, it would just take a little bit of time.
And I'm okay with that.
100%. All right, well, Johnny, get out there, start knocking on your neighbors' doors. Say, all right, let's do this, guys. And you're gonna lead the army, all right?
Lead the Separatist Party?
Yep. Johnny Shirley, going down in history, dude. I
have been secretly working on a satire website.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. And
I'm excited about this. This is a lot of dick jokes, probably, too.
No, it's the Pragmatic Middle People of Canada.
The Pragmatic Middle People of Canada. I like it.
And it's going to be just a very factual and realistic approach to all of, like, the ballot topics.
Uh-huh.
But kind of like, I mean, satire against both sides, like how both sides are so stupid.
Sure. Oh yeah. Dude, well.
So one of my points that I was noodling around was, like the PM party were pro-life, but our vision of pro-life is all men have to be have to have a vasectomy by the time they're 12, and that birth control is like free, and that there will be proper supports put in place for parents. So like,
right.
Just like fucking with both sides.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let me know when that's live, dude. I will definitely, I'll definitely be looking at that.
I wasn't planning on attaching my name to that, so maybe beep out that part.
Oh, okay. Let me make note of that real quick. Okay.
But I have been doing some writing and thinking about like colors and whatnot.
For the website?
Yeah. Think of the Onion, but for a political party.
Okay. All right. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of the Onion, so.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the best way. Is it's the Onion, but as a political party.
What did I see?
Of like just showing how stupid both sides are. Like you can have both.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're all fucking stupid, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just dumb apes.
Yeah.
Anyways, this dumb ape
I'm right.
wants to go eat some grapes and watch the economy die.
You want to go just fucking sit on your porch in the blizzard and fucking eat some grapes and just cry? right, man.
Yep, that's exactly what I want to do, Zach. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, well, don't die to exposure. All right, dude. I don't need.
No, it's nice out. It's like 38 degrees.
That's not bad.
40 degrees.
So it's not far off from what we were dealing with. I think on Thursday it's supposed to dip down in the 30s overnight.
Yeah,
so,
we're in the negatives overnight now, but the
I'm
days
sure
aren't too bad. Days are like mid 40s, 50s.
That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. Well, while Jonny is trying to scrape up the pieces of his life and move all of his important items into his bunker, I'm going to take this point to thank you guys for tuning in for another week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Very heavy on the politics this time, but hey, it's jumbled. It's jumbled. What can you do? It's just whatever it is. Whatever it happens to be.
Next week I might have to be doing this podcast via Morse code, so hopefully all of our listeners.
Hopefully you like bleeps. And I'm like, and then I'm just
Zach
laughing.
Zach will be a bass note.
Yeah.
If I'm in my bunker, I don't know what kind of internet connections I'll have.
Fair. All right, and hopefully we have Joe on next week. We were trying to get him on this week, but it's his anniversary tonight, so he's out doing anniversary stuff. Jonny wasn't available tomorrow night because he's got stuff going on. I'm always available because I don't have a social life, but but hopefully we can get Joe on next week. That's the plan, at least. I know we promised it last week. Hopefully you guys aren't too disappointed with that. But in any case, we hope that you guys will come back. Follow us on all social media at Jumbled Podcast. Send emails to jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. Head over to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating, please and thank you. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Pay or get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Jumped a little bit ahead. Go to patreon.com/jumbled. Pay $500. Get us an address. That's going to do it. Jonny, I already see you shuffling off into your bunker, so I guess we'll see you guys next week with a series of beeps for your favorite podcast.
About two dumb primates talking about other dumb primates.
We're all fucking stupid. All right, we'll see you guys next week. I'm doing it, Jonny. Dirt bike nose, dude. I don't have it. I can't do it.
Someday.
Someday. When I get punched in the nose enough.